Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bitter Rabbits podcast, episode 77. It is the day after Boxing Day, December 27th. And yeah, we have been on a little bit of Christmas break from the NHL, but as we all know, the World Juniors have begun. A little bit of a tough start for Canada and a couple of upsets kind of around the board, like across the board, but it's been an interesting tournament. It's been a fun tournament so far. There's been a couple of overtime games that have been fun to watch. Gord Miller and Mike Johnson do a killer job.
Always do.
So that's fantastic to see. What a replacement for Ray Ferraro he's been on TSN. In Leafs news, we play in 10 minutes from this time of recording. It is 7:57. The Leafs puck drop is at 8:07. We are very much looking forward to this. It's not the halfway point, but it kind of feels like a halfway point in the NHL season, if that makes sense. It feels like some sort of milestone, like the holiday season, and I'm looking forward to the Leafs kind of pushing forward and going places from where they've kind of building off of what they've started, if that makes sense, because they've started really well. I've talked about it at length this year. I talked about it actually on Top Shelf, if you tuned into that. If not, go ahead and do so. But not a whole lot going on since the last time we recorded, simply based on the fact I think there's been one game. When did we record last? I forget.
Sunday the 18th?
Sunday the 18th. So the Leafs...
not even. Monday the 19th.
I'm just trying to refresh my memory here. Yeah, no, the Leafs just played they played the Tampa Bay game and won 4-1, and then they played the Flyers and had a harder time with the Flyers than they did with Tampa Bay, which just makes no sense at all, but that's just Leafing. That's how the Leafs do it. They won both games, so I don't really know what I'm complaining about. Samsonov had a pretty tough game in the Flyers game. It was actually at work. I only got to watch a part of that game, the first period in the last minute, but apparently the third period was a tough one. The game against Tampa was a good game. They played very well, won obviously 4-1, and dominated Tampa. John Cooper was not happy. Tonight is the Blues, so I'm very excited for that. Speaking of tonight, I should go make sure my fantasy lineup is set.
What's a good call?
Yeah.
I am also doing that right now.
Yeah, so not a whole lot else going on in Leafland. No players at the World Juniors, which is quite interesting. First time in a while that I can remember that being the case, that the Leafs don't have any players at the World Juniors.
Nobody?
What about the Habs? What are they? Yeah, I know. What do they have at the World Juniors? Just a few.
The Habs, I think, have 6 at the Juniors. So we've got Josh Roy for Team Canada. We got Lane Hudson for the U.S. I want to say it's Oliver Kapanen for Finland. We've got a defenseman
He's the
for
captain.
Sweden.
He's been very good.
Yeah. We got a defenseman for Sweden. I'll pull up his name in just a second here. And then we have what's his name? Philip Mishar is with the Slovaks, and I believe so Adam Engström is the Swede, and then I believe we have one more. Vincent, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's Rohrer for Austria.
Okay, interesting.
So we got a bunch. So far, Engström's played really well, from what I've heard, and Lane Hudson had an impressive debut for the U.S. So
good stuff. Good stuff. Anything else you want to add to from a Habs side of things early here?
No, actually, no. The one thing, Justin Barron got called up from the AHL. He was someone who I had pegged to be challenging for one of those spots on opening night, but was hurt in preseason. Had a slow start in the AHL, but he's got 17 points in his last 20 games. He was one of the key parts in the Arturi Lehkonen deal, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see him healthy, and now hopefully getting a chance coming up with some injuries. And that's about it in Habs land.
So there you go. Let's move on to what we've been watching for a couple days now. I don't know if you spent a lot of time watching it today, but the World Juniors. So yesterday there were some interesting games. There was the Switzerland-Finland game. which went to overtime, and the Swiss did beat the Finns, which I think was a shock to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, like it's not surprising that the Swiss are a decent team, but to beat Finland, who are historically very good at this level, is pretty surprising.
Yeah, that was followed by Sweden thumping. Was it Latvia or Austria? Austria. It was Austria. 11-0. Followed by the States getting scared a little bit by the Latvians. Latvia had a very good game. They played another good game today, but I'll get to that in a second. And then Czechia beat Canada 5-2 on what can only be described as an extremely poor effort by the Canadians.
Like that was so bad. Like that was such a shit game of hockey.
It was not. They played not well. They really did not play well. They took too many penalties, as they've said, as you've seen on TSN. I hate when I see a bunch of like the 16-year-old kids and being asked like, "Oh, do you think you did too many Michigans?" Like, can you stop?
Like that wasn't the issue for me.
No.
So I'm trying to try my best to not sound like torts here. They should not have been going for Michigans in that game because they were playing like dog shit. If you're playing great and fucking scoring a bunch, creating chances, cycling the puck, a lot of zone time, like great, try it, go for it, be my guest. But when you're playing like fucking dog shit, you can't string two passes together, and you're fucking giving up fucking odd man rushes the whole fucking game.
How many fucking times are you gonna say fuck?
So many, because it's so frustrating to watch, Abe. Like it's so painful because we should have been way better. Like on paper, that's a way better team than Czechia. Like they're a good little team. That team's got a bunch of like literal NHL players on it, and they slapped the shit out of us.
Yeah.
So I think the message isn't don't do Michigans. It's simplify things. Let's focus on winning the game, and then you can dick around and do your Michigans. You know,
well, I think the message should be it's a team sport, not an individual sport. So stop trying to make it an individual sport, I think is the message. And that's been the message from the players and the coaching staff all day today. Right? Is you can't, you're not going, like, no toe drag, no individual toe drag, no individual Michigan play. No, you're not going to win the game yourself. You're going to need to do it with your teammates. And you can't underestimate teams like I think they underestimated the Czechian team yesterday. They play Germany tomorrow, who is no pushover. Germany only lost to Sweden 1-0 today in their opening match. They have a fantastic goaltender. So they're gonna be challenged again tomorrow, and it's gonna be a very, very interesting game to see if they can rebound from that very, very poor effort. Like we said, very, very poor effort.
They need to be ruthless tomorrow. Like I know we don't always like to see them winning 10-11-0. If they have the opportunity, they have to.
They're not going to win 10-11-0, and I'm basing that off of the way that they played against Sweden. Excuse me, today, the Germans. So,
but you know what I mean, right? Like they can't have any let up at all, even if the goalie keeps it close to 3 or 4-0. Like they have to put that goalie to work. You got to give him 50+ shots to deal with. And more importantly, you got to fucking cover your goalie's ass and not give up so many fucking great chances because they hung him out to dry, the kid.
Yeah, and that goalie's probably not going to play again, I would imagine. There were a couple of goals that Czechia scored yesterday that just simply cannot go in. Like, no. And I'm not trying to make excuses for the rest of the team because the rest of the team played like garbage too, but that goalie didn't cost them the game, but he definitely didn't win it for them, you know?
Yeah.
I've been finding myself saying that a lot lately, and sometimes you do need a goaltender to make the saves when they need to be made. 5-2 game, it's not all going to be on the goaltender. There were a couple goals, like I said, that he probably should have had. You take those away, we still lose the game.
Yeah.
Going to need more than Shane Wright and Connor Bedard to score goals too. That's going to be very important.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but I noticed a lot. Especially when Bedard was on the ice, it felt like it was Bedard versus 5 guys, and everyone else was just kind of standing around watching him do his thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that it can't just be the Connor Bedard and Shane Wright show. or even the Adam Fantilli or Logan Stanko, whoever. It can't be anybody's show. It's got to be the Team Canada show, right? So that's where we got to get to, where they have to get to, and a good time to start is tomorrow against the Germans. So let's hope they can do that. Other games today, if I'm not mistaken, right now Czechia is slapping Austria. It is, I will tell you, the game is currently sitting. I believe it was 3-0. It's on commercial right now. I just went to check the game, but it was like 3 or 4-0 the last I saw.
Yeah,
so Czechia, they've come to play.
Good little team.
Well, and their goaltender was very good against Canada as well. You got to give him that.
Yeah.
When those 38 to 40, and he stopped them both. Pardon?
38 to 40, I think he saved against us.
Yeah, exactly. So it happens. But regardless, the Leafs game is about to start. Let's go. I hate being deprived of Leaf games for more than 2 or 3 days. Like, I remember, I don't know about you, but like when the regular season ends, after like Game 7 of the first round, usually, I just get so emotionally drained. I just get so sad. Like, what do you mean I don't get to watch hockey for the next, watch the Leafs for the next however many months? Like, there's
like a week at the end of every season. Like, no matter when it ends, whenever the season ends for the Habs or the Leafs, there's always that like week where I'm just like, feel like pure shit, just want the Habs back.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this game is underway. So let's get to theme teams so we can watch our hockey teams play. Do the Habs play tonight? No,
we've got Tampa. We're in Tampa for tomorrow night.
Okay. All right. Let's do theme teams here.
All right, so we're doing all-time World Junior performances. So we are taking the best World Junior performances. They're going to be ones that we've seen. We could talk about how great Gretzky was at the juniors, but we didn't see it, so it's a little harder to talk about.
Exactly.
Seeing as you had first pick on the last theme team, I will take first pick on this one. And we're going to go for the obvious one. It's Jordan Eberle.
Jordan Eberle, maybe the greatest World Juniors player of all time.
Up there. He's definitely a top 3 guy. So obviously everyone remembers the game-tying goal against the Russians in the semifinal, leads to the shootout win and a gold medal. What people forget is he did it the next year as well in the gold medal game against the States. 2 goals in the last minute and a half to tie it up. The only reason we don't remember it is because we lost in overtime to, I believe, John Carlson.
I believe you are correct. I was in the United States at my uncle's house in St. Louis that night, and it was a bad night.
Yeah, but he did it twice, Ave.
Yeah, he did.
It's just incredible stuff.
It sure was. So with the second pick, forgive me if I pick somebody that because we did kind of go over who we were going to pick, and I kind of didn't save it anywhere.
Yeah, no, go for it. Just pick your team.
So we're going to go with John Tavares as our number 1 pick, right down the middle. And I thought that was an interesting one. Yeah.
It's funny, actually. He scored in that shootout and won the gold medal with the Eberle goal there. And they were re-showing that clip, and he looks the exact fucking same, Ave.
Yes,
he hasn't aged a day.
No, I know. It's not that he hasn't aged, it's that he looked like he was 40 years old at 19.
That's exactly what Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
All right, you are up.
I'm going to take my goalie, and I'm debating being boring versus having a little bit of fun here. Because the obvious one, I could take Carey Price for the second theme team in a row. Because dominant goalie at junior level, won us a couple golds, was great. But at the same time, I kind of want to pick someone like a Zach Fucale or a Dustin Tokarski, who also won us a gold.
Yes, they did.
So I'm going to go Zach Fucale. He was a Habs draft pick at the time. Had a great tournament. Gold medal. Dub. Leafs already
Justin
scored.
Goal. 1-0 Leafs. 3 minutes and 8 seconds in. I love to see it. But with the number 2 pick in this draft, we are going to take. This is tougher than I remember. Do you know what? We're gonna go with our goaltender, Leafs legend, Justin Pogge.
Whew. That is a name I've not heard in decades.
Yeah, no, it's because he was useless after junior.
Yeah. No, he was killer. He was killer for Canada.
Yeah, 4-0 against Russia in the World Junior Final game. I don't remember which year it was, but I specifically remember that.
Yeah. So I am going to take from the Edmonton Oilers, Jesse Puljujarvi.
That is a good pick.
5 goals, 12 assists for 17 points in 7 games as Finland dominated and won a gold medal at the 2016 World Juniors. That line, I think you're also going to take someone off that line.
If I'm not mistaken, yes, I am.
Honestly, but we had having to leave one of them out because we kind of want to spread it out the years a little bit. Is a shame, but that line of him and Aho and Laine, stupid good.
Yeah, can you a juniors lineup of those 3 is ridiculous. It was ridiculous, and yeah, to lead into my next pick, Patrick Laine. Yeah. That guy was an outrageous juniors player. Outrageous. And we talked about this. Puljujarvi had the winner that year in overtime. Am I right?
Definitely in overtime. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I am pretty sure.
Oh, definitely. It was definitely Puljujarvi.
Then it was definitely in overtime.
So I have Pogge in net, Tavares and Zadina up front. You have
Laine up front.
Tavares, not Zadina. Sorry. I picked Laine instead of Zadina because that is another good shout. He was amazing playing for, if I'm not mistaken, the Czechs, right?
Yep. Do you want to take him?
No, I don't want Zadina because I have some other forwards that I need to take.
All right. Well, I'm going to round out my forward group with the great 802, Alex Ovechkin. He did what Ovi does in junior. Unsurprising. Really, the only thing he's missing is the gold medal. I don't think he's got one, but...
No, he did not. That was when Canada was absolutely dominant.
Well, he played in 3, so... But I don't think he got a gold medal in any of them. But he did Ovi things in those tournaments, so yeah.
Yes, he did. All right, moving on. I'm gonna start taking D-men here. I have a couple in mind that I would like to take, beginning with Swedish player Erik Karlsson, who I've taken now for the second straight theme team. Last time, if you remember correctly, was great hair, and that also is Erik Karlsson. So
he qualifies very top of the class for both of these. So hard to argue.
So there you go. That is another. That is actually my first D-man pick. So moving on to do you have any D-men yet?
No, I have 2 picks left. I'm taking both my D-men right now. I'm going to start going back to Canada, and I'm going to go with Ryan Ellis.
Great shout.
An absolute pillar on defense for Canada those years, 2009, 10, and 11. Put up 7, 8, and 10 points across 3 tournaments, which is impressive from the blue line. And yeah, he was probably one of the best defensemen at those tournaments.
Yeah. Yes, he probably was. So now I have a couple of things that I wanted to do here with the forward group. So I have 2 guys left. I'm going to take guys who aren't wingers, okay? I'm just going to round it out with a third forward. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So,
They don't have to, positionally don't have to be the same. It just needs to be 3 forwards, 2 D, and a goalie.
There's a couple things here, and I'm still mulling on them. So for the last forward spot, I'm mulling between Jonathan Toews. Unbelievable performance. Just that shootout alone was ridiculous. Or Sidney Crosby.
So here's the thing: is I don't like Sidney Crosby, so I'm going to say take Jonathan Toews.
Do you know what I am gonna take? No, I'm gonna take Crosby because for my last D-man pick, I'm gonna go. I want to get a little bit I want to get a guy on here who didn't pan out in the NHL at all. So
you have Justin Pogge, by the way.
Yeah, I have Justin Pogge. That's a goalie. I want to talk about a player though, and St. Louis just scored. Damn it.
All right, so you're taking Crosby.
Crosby, yeah.
All right. So with my last pick, I'm going to take the former Hab, Alexander Romanov. This was kind of the first introduction Habs fans got to him, was the 19 and 20 World Juniors. And he was a fucking brick shithouse, Ave. Like, he was dominant. 8 points and 6 points in those two tournaments. Won best defenseman in the tournament. And Russia won a silver and a bronze. It's funny now, because like back in those tournaments, like, it was a thing of you needed to know when he was on the ice because he laid guys out, just crushed them. And you've seen him crush guys in the NHL, right? He was doing that in junior, and it was sick to watch.
Yeah.
And obviously, the production hasn't kind of turned out, hasn't kind of transferred over to the NHL level, but he's still an absolute force to be reckoned with and a great defenseman in the league.
Okay, so with my last pick, I'm taking an obscure player in the NHL, but you will remember as soon as I say the name, a very successful World Juniors career, and that is for Sam Reinhart's brother, Griffin Reinhart, who had a fantastic World Junior career for the Canadian team, but has really failed to make that translate into an NHL role, which is very interesting because he was really, really good. And he was a very high pick as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't he like captain of the team?
I believe so. Or what? I think his brother was.
Oh, okay. I might be getting that.
I think Sam
mistaken.
was. Yeah, but he was very good for Canada, and for him to not have a career in the NHL to me is quite surprising. Anyway, that's enough of that. That is our team.
Run us through your team once more here.
So one more team we have, one more time we have Patrick Laine, Sidney Crosby, and who did I take as my other forward? Oh, Tavares. That is correct. We have Erik Karlsson and Griffin Reinhart on D, and Justin Pogge on the back end.
That's a pretty top-heavy team.
Yeah.
And then I've got Eberle, Ovechkin, Puljujarvi, Ellis Romanov, and Zach Fucale in net.
So there's a couple of interesting ones. Interesting to have this without Carey Price. Neither of us went Carey Price, which is interesting.
I mean, you could have. I didn't want to double dip. Not in the first two episodes, but
well, I double dipped Karlsson.
I know. But that's the thing, is that they both qualified very well for both of them. So I definitely would have allowed the double dip, no problem. I don't know about you. I would have been fine with it. Actually, you're clearly fine with it because you went for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think as long as the guys match up and like kind of fit the categories, I don't mind the double dip.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so we will continue to cook up theme teams and come up with some interesting ones for you. We have a couple ideas already in the hatchet. We're going to make this one nice, short, and sweet. Last episode of 2022. Hope everyone had a great Christmas, spent a lot of time with family. I know that I did. I'm sure Gitano did. Everybody with the TGM family did. We got together for a Christmas party. I think we talked about it on the last one. It was great. So yeah, check out Gitano on the Full-Time podcast. Check out me every couple weeks on the Top Shelf podcast on the TGM network, where you can also find this show. You can find the YouTube upload if you're not watching. If you're just listening and you want to watch, you can find that on YouTube anytime. You can also find that on the TGM network, if I'm not mistaken. The video. Yeah. Perfect. And yeah, the Leafs are about to go on a power play halfway through the first period. I'm pretty excited to watch this. Yeah. Thank you to everybody for listening. We will catch you in the first week of January 2023 for another episode. Maybe get some World Junior updates, Leafs updates, Habs updates. We will talk to you then. See you later.